So now I'm just gonna continue on. All right, so got this thing here. So one of the issues I'm having is that I have enough geometry to basically support this kind of rounded shape. And if I want to make any more major things, I would continue with that. And in fact, actually, I kind of do. I'm thinking it might be kind of, I think in order to make this a little more exaggerated and a little less like, I don't know, meaty, I think I'm going to make these legs. I'm going to click off here, hold control, click and drag. I'm going to kind of drag this like so. And I'm going to kind of shrink this like this. Let's see. And I'm going to click and drag, hold shift. And I'm going to move oops, the outside one here, and then like this. And I'm going to pull this, and it's going to make the legs a little bit smaller. I'm going to go to rotate, and we're going to rotate this back a little bit. Okay, and I think that makes it look a little cuter. Hold control, click and drag. Let's see if we can get this to be okay. Like this. Well, you know what? All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the inside of this, put this in there, click, oops, grab the outside. You want to grab the outside circles? Ah, God bless it. If I undo, crap. Let's redo. That sucks. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to put this in the center. Put this one here. And I want to grab the outside pieces here, not the inner ones. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take this. Oops, I'm on rotate. Yeah, scale. I'm going to scale this a little bit smaller. And that looks good. Okay. Just want to try and make this a little more exaggerated so it's a little cuter, if you will. And I'm going to go ahead and click off. I'm going to control, click and drag. Control, click and drag off first. Click over here. I'm going to hold control, click and drag. And it's doing a terrible job. Click off, control, click and drag. Let's see. Alright. We'll just leave it like that. Okay, so we're going to call that good enough. I don't feel like farting around with it forever. So I have this little pony. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I need to up the dynamic resolution. Right now it's at 128. It's not really enough to support it. So I'm just going to try going up a little bit to like, let's try around 400. Yeah, 400. Now if I go back to draw, I'm going to control, click, and drag to remesh it. And you're going to see it's going to be considerably denser. So now, if you look at it, you can see I have a lot more geometry to work with. The problem is that you'll notice now when I hit smooth, it doesn't smooth as easy. It's harder to get rid of detail. So you want to make sure that you have this looking the way you want before, like the mass in general, before you bother upping the resolution, because it's going to be a lot more difficult to get rid of things. So I'm just going to go through and basically add more detail. So I'm just on the normal brush tool. And I'm just going to kind of go through and take the focal shift a little bit more like this. And I'm going to hold Shift F to get that off. I'm also going to change the material here. I'm not a big fan of that one, the wax. Basic material 2. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of brush this in. Alright, and we're going to smooth. Alright. Alright, and we're gonna like this and smooth that out a little. And we're gonna make this a little bit smaller, hold Alt, and I'm gonna kind of draw a mouth here. Alright, something like that. Alright, Alt, like that. And we will. So this is a cartoony kind of thing, so I'm just going to make it, and we're going to Alt, and I'm going to kind of get this a little bit smaller. Alright, and smooth. His head looks so wide. It's a little bit weird to me. I'm gonna try doing this. Make this a little bit bigger. Control Z. I'm gonna take my focal shift, and we're gonna control. All right. I just want to make sure it's feathered. I'm gonna control tap. I'm gonna use the move. Click and drag, and we'll just control click and drag. Q. Let's try smoothing that a little bit. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take the focal shift back a little bit. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to smooth. All right. BMB. Move that in a little bit. It's a little bit sucked in. All right. So just kind of fattening this up. And we're going to kind of make this smaller. B, M, and V. Oh, sorry. B, S, T. Okay. And I'm just going to try and get these hooves, basically. And, alright, something like that. Alright. Alright. And let's just... And put a little bit more here. That's... And add a little more here. And let's go ahead and smooth that. And we'll kind of... And we'll put a little bit of a bump right there. Like so. And then we're going to Alt. There we go. Alt. Try to cut in a little bit. And Alt cut in a little bit there. Alright. Okay, so you see we're getting a little bit closer to what we want. Alright. And let's make this a bit smaller. Alt to get a little bit of a nose hole here. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, Alt. Alright. And let's make the eye here. Alright. And I'm just going to kind of... hair obviously be one of those things where it might make sense to actually turn off symmetry, but in this case I'm not going to worry too much about it. And I'm just going to kind of draw a hair here. I'm doing kind of a crappy job. Hopefully you spend a little more time and do something a little bit nicer. But, okay. And we're gonna basically just trying to make a fake hair kind of thing. And Alright. And there we go. Alright. Alright, so I got this kind of like ugly pony kind of going along here, and it's looking okay. Now, what I would suggest at this point, some of this looks terrible, but we're just going to go with it. I got enough detail where it might make sense. I'm going to save this real quick, so Control S, save us the next version. And I'm going to try Z Remesher, okay? So, turn Dynamesh off, and then you'll see Z Remesher, and I'm going to click on Z Remesher, and it's going to go ahead and go about it. Right now, so where's the size stuff? Oh, the target poly count says 5. That actually means 5,000, which is actually going to be way too few. I should have looked at that first. You're going to see it's not going to be enough to support the shape. It's going to be very, it does a good job. It supports it, but I lost a lot of the detail, so I'd rather go a little bit higher. So I'm going to try, wow, that's just up to 80. Okay, I'm going to try instead of 5, let's do 15. And then I'm going to hit remesh. So that's going to make it 15,000. And it's going to retopologize the geometry. And now the reason why this is beneficial to do Z Remesher and then continue on with doing Detail Sculpt is that you're going to see that when it remeshes it this way instead of Dynamesh, where it just squares it out, the geometry here actually tries to follow the surface. So notice that like this is a circle. And you can kind of see these lines flow through. If you look, you see how like the lines go with the surface. You can see like these lines go up and around. That's the benefit of Z Remesh as opposed to the Dynamesh. And what you do is you just execute it. So I'm not going to use that anymore. I'm actually done with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use divide. So I'm going to hit divide, and that's just going to subdivide it. Okay, so you can see I have subdivision levels, and I can go back, and I can go forward. Alright, you can't really see, if I hit Shift F off, you'll be able to tell like how it's polyed, and it gets a little bit smoother and a little bit smoother. And this is going to allow me to basically paint more detail on here. So if I really want to try to make this look a little bit nicer, I can kind of start, you know, I can put in a little bit more detail in here. And so like I can add little things like, you know, little wrinkles and stuff like that. And take this, make this a bit smaller. I'm going to take my focal shift and make it a lot tighter. Oops, sorry. And hold Alt, and that will kind of draw it a little bit, should hopefully make it a little bit more linear. Alright. Alright, and I'm going to kind of go in here, take my focal shift back. Alright. And I'm going to smooth that. Okay, smooth that out. Alright, and I'm just going to kind of smooth that out. And, okay. So, Alt. Alright. Alright, and alright. And we'll just kind of, and I'm not going to go through and like finish this up, but we'll just add more and more subdivision levels until I get it to look roughly the way that I would like, okay? Instead of this ugly looking thing that I currently have. But there you go. And then when you're happy with it, just save it. I'm just going to save it like this. And that will be it. And so just bring that to class. And what we're going to do is we're going to 3D print it out, and you'll have yourself a ugly toy. Voila.